I mean, that was the first story that Sports Illustrated did on LeBron James. He was a high school junior in Akron, Ohio. And I wasn't sure they were going to put him on the cover. They ended up doing that, and they ended up doing that during the Salt Lake City Winter Olympics. So it was not an expected cover choice for Sports Illustrated to make. They made a good choice in the end, and LeBron made it. But I remember I was living in Seattle in those days and covering college basketball. And I pitched my editor, Greg Kelly, on, I think it might be time to do a story on this kid, LeBron James, who had a really good ABCD camp the previous summer and was being talked about as a high school junior as not just the best player in America his age, but a guy who, I remember Danny Ainge, who was a GM of the Celtics, telling me for that story, like, there are only 2 or 3 players in the NBA right now that I would not trade for this high school junior, LeBron James. And in those days, I don't think the internet was in the same place it is today. So it did kind of feel like you were introducing this kid, LeBron James, to the country by putting him on the cover of the magazine. And so I remember telling LeBron, like, your life's going to change because of this. And, like, I ended up making 2 trips to see him. I went on one trip to Akron and ended up going with LeBron and Maverick Carter, his friend, and a couple other of their friends to an NBA game. I drove him to see Michael Jordan play in Cleveland. And so that allowed me the chance to really get a sense of what LeBron and his support system was about. It was pretty cool because Jordan hit a buzzer beater that night to beat the Cavaliers, and LeBron was rooting for Jordan, and he met up with him after the game, and that became the lead to my story. And then I also made a second trip a week or 2 after that to New Jersey, and it was a famous high school game between LeBron's team and Carmelo Anthony's team in Trenton. And the whole thing was just really cool. And I remember seeing the cover, and the cover line was "The Chosen One." And my editor, Greg Kelly, actually was the one who came up with that. And LeBron liked it so much that he eventually got a big tattoo of "Chosen One" on his back. And so I always give my editor credit for doing that.